Welcome into DC On Screen, episode 201. I am your host, David C. Roberson. This is my co-host, Jason Goss.
Hello.
This is a show about the DC Universe properties being released on film and television. We do talk spoilers, so if it's been officially released in any capacity, we will talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I feel like that's foreshadowing. Was that foreshadowing?
No, it's just I never remember to say it.
Oh.
So I'm trying to get back on that
Trying
horse.
to practice form. I see. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll stop interrupting your practice then.
Oh, sweetie. No, you won't. Last year, we started a promotion for iTunes and Stitcher reviews. One of us would draw a character of your choosing and send it out to you. That promotion has since ended. We are working on the last of those pictures. So for Eli Oppelders, Mark Lemke, Jeffrey Serbosek, Jason Smith, and Freddie Ubaldo, we have not forgotten you. Mm-hmm. We have not forsaken you.
Mm-hmm. I have one that I can't get right, or even close to right. Even as close as I would normally let it go and go, it's probably close enough. It's just staring me in the face. I'm not good enough.
But we are, as of this episode, officially starting a new promotion. Our friends at the Suicide Squad cast have been doing this promotion, or a similar promotion. I did talk to them prior to this announcement. They're cool with it. They gave their blessing for us to kind of take their idea and run with it.
We're going to hawk
it. They're actually cooking up some new ideas for a promotion, and I'm kind of interested to see what they come up with. Mm-hmm. But here's what we're doing now. Go give us a 5-star review on iTunes, and you will be entered into a contest. For every 10 reviews that we get, we'll randomly select a winner using a random number generator. The winner will get a DC Comics trade paperback of their choosing that's worth $15 or less, or, and this is our twist on it, because we're DC on screen, you can also choose a DVD or a Blu-ray that's $15 or less. Just send us a link on Amazon, and we'll send it out to you. But you gotta write those reviews, man. 5-star reviews on iTunes.
And then you can own a copy of Green Lantern. Like, Director's Edition.
I think Man of Steel is like $7.
Yeah, you might be able to get both for under $15, for God's sake.
You know what? If you look around, you can find kind of a lot for $15 or less as far as DVDs and Blu-rays are.
And and for TPBs and stuff, I've got a wish list. About every month, I go ahead and let myself buy another one of the TPBs that I've got my eye on. And there was last month where I bought 3, and then I went broke. I'm not a moneyed individual.
I'm sorry, man. I mean, I'm not either.
Poppers.
I feel you. I do. So, jumping into some light news real quick. Did you see this Honest trailers that they did for Watchmen? Screen Junkies did for Watchmen.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
Pretty damn funny. A lot of the I've seen the Honest trailers for it, and then the I think I watched the movie sins for Watchmen. I may have imagined that. All funny points. Doesn't mean I don't still freaking love that movie.
Right.
But the Honest trailer, though, makes a point that, like, I literally left the theater, and the first thing I said to somebody about the movie was, there's a lot of blue penis in that motherfucker. Just tons of blue penis.
Oh, yeah. They did a good job with it.
Yeah, it was funny. I usually like the Honest trailers. And I forget they exist completely, and then I'll sit down and you'll send me one, and I'll end up losing like an hour. That's
the way it happens.
Yeah.
So did you watch Everything Wrong with Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice that CinemaSins put out?
I did.
Look, man, I posted that on our Facebook page. I put news up pretty much every day.
Yeah.
A whole bunch of news all throughout the day. And it actually upset people that I posted that. They were like, we're sick of this shit. Stop, making fun of the things. And I'm sorry. It was funny.
We just thought it was funny. I'm sorry. We agree we thought it was a good movie. We're on record as stating that.
Yeah, CinemaSins,
for better or worse. Mostly worse.
CinemaSins, they're just funny. They're everything wrong with. Videos are always an enjoyment to me. They pick apart. Hell, I've watched them pick apart the Avengers and just went, yeah, well, still love it. So I like both. Yeah.
I did though. I was torn on this one. About 40% of his critiques, I'm like, nah, man, just go watch the Ultimate Edition. It really was like
Right?
a fair amount of it. I'm like, oh man, that totally got solved. And then there was another probably 20-30% that I thought, I mean, it's a funny line and all, but that's a bullshit sin count. That's it helps tally your meter up, but that's about it. And then there's another 20-30% where I'm like, oh yeah, dude, I totally know. Oh man, yeah. Whew, that could have been done better. Could have been done better.
If you haven't seen it, and I don't think I sent this to you. I don't know if you've seen it. I did post it on the Facebook page. I totally forgot about it in putting this show together. So, my fault. Someone put out a video that is showing all of the... showing how Iron Man 2 and Batman v Superman are the same movie. You
told me about it. And I forgot about that thing.
It's pretty fantastic. It's funny as hell.
That sounds great, though.
Some of it relies solely on how the guy talks, or how he describes the scene.
Uh-huh.
Like... And then as the big bad guy is ravaging the place, the two red laser beams come out, and it's like Iron Man's two red laser beams with, Superman's heat vision. So it's funny, but some of the similarities are pretty cute.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I'm saying it's completely truthful, but it's pretty funny the way he did it. Anyway, the Joker has officially been in film and television for 50 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Cesar Romero, 66.
Yeah. I mean, well, yeah, but still, damn.
Yeah. All right, so this is dropping today. This is a bit of news that dropped today. The Wrap, and I feel you. I know what you're going to think. The Wrap, though, is making a claim. They have a source, so they're not citing who it is, that says that Warner Brothers has Man of Steel 2 in heavy development.
Yep. Yeah. Ran across that one.
Saying Man of Steel is the top priority for the studio. They're trying to get the character right for audiences. I don't know that I believe it. Everyone's reporting on it. Thought I'd let you guys know that we are aware of that.
It is an unsubstantiated as of yet, but kind of believable and probably true thing.
Yeah, maybe. I'm saying it's a rumor. I don't know, and I kind of don't care. We've got Justice League coming up. I don't care.
Yeah,
whatever.
And whatever you're going to get,
too, whatever.
Like whenever you're going to get is going to be after Justice League. So
yeah, most likely, yeah.
I mean, it can't not be unless.
Now, let me ask you this though:
filming that while, like, if they're sneaking it into the Justice League filming while they're in London there or something, but.
Like on the page, they actually posed a pretty nice question. I thought I'd ask you: what villain do you want to see in Man of Steel 2?
Oh,
we've already had Luthor. We've had Doomsday.
That's actually a really good question.
I'm kind of digging on Brainiac, but because I want to eventually get to the Brainiac Luthor combination, like from Alan Moore's Whatever Happened to the Man of Tomorrow.
Yeah. I didn't like that as much, and Brainiac's really just not one of my favorites. Maybe a Metallo or something.
But you know what I think they should do, and since they're already doing it, kind of in one direction, they have Tyler Hoechlin, which pronunciation provided by Scott of the Suicide Squad cast. Thank you. I didn't know how to say that shit. Tyler Hoechlin is playing Superman over on Supergirl. We need somebody to play Supergirl over in Man of Steel. We have that pod from that crashed scout ship in Man of Steel that was broken open. That was the little, like, hey, there might be another Kryptonian running around.
Right.
I say we do Supergirl. We could do someone who was like, I don't know, possessed by Brainiac. That would be cool. That would be a cool way. I just want that tied up, really.
Well, yeah, that's fine. I mean, I don't know. I've always kind of liked Parasite, but he's a one-trick pony.
Yeah. I don't know if Parasite could sustain an entire movie.
Not a movie. I mean, he does fine for an episode, but that's really about it. If you just want to do like oh man, if I would love to do just a 10-minute like bonus feature where he's fighting Mr. Mixus Bitlix.
I was about to say that. Like,
I just want a special feature because you can't make a movie out of that shit. It'll be bizarre.
I don't know. It might be the Suicide Squad that everyone actually wants.
Right.
It's changing the face of the things. Yeah.
Cyborg Superman might have enough in it, but I'd probably want to rename him. Feels like Bizarro's been done. Prankster's basically just, a terrible Joker.
Yeah. I I wouldn't mind seeing Jesse Eisenberg come back as Luthor.
That would be my first thought, to be honest. And it would not be a popular one because he was not well loved.
No. I also love the idea that he is Lex Luthor Jr. We know that. I also love the idea of someone like Bryan Cranston coming in and playing
the real Lex Luthor and playing him the way everybody thought they were going to get.
Yeah. Time to fix some shit. Time to hell to the king that shit.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I liked the Eisenberg Luthor. Why can't we have both?
Right.
Just bring in my old Clancy Brown Luthor, you know?
No,
I would be perfectly okay. No, screw Cranston. I really like the idea of just bringing in Clancy Brown.
You always do. As I've heard you mention it several times, and the moment you get your head set on, oh yeah, Clancy Brown, you abandon all other theories.
I do.
It's
not even theories, hopes.
All other hopes, dreams, leads. Or bring in whoever old version you want, and escort it so that by the end of the movie, Jesse Eisenberg's hatred for his dad actually gets him on the same side as Superman for a minute.
Yeah.
That seems inevitable, right? And fun.
Just turn Jesse Eisenberg into the John Cryer of the film. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do all of the versions. Multiverse, bitch. Anyway, I'm getting too excited.
I know. Take one of your pills. It happens
so quickly.
Take one of your pills real quick, and we'll come back in a few minutes.
Technical difficulties.
Yeah. Remember to hum the Girl From Ewood Game for you?
Yeah, I kind of wish this is one of those times where I wish this was a visual experience for people, because I'd love to put up the place card with, like, I don't know, the camera technician just drinking booze and passed out or something.
Yeah. Like, it stays on him for a full minute, and about at the 30-second mark, his cigarette falls out of his mouth and lights his jacket on fire. Just as the flames are about to start nipping the bottom of his chin, we come back.
We need to do more videos. All right, guys.
We can't even afford the books we're about to send these people. We don't have a budget for that shit, man.
All right, so we are going to jump into some other news in just a second, but we are, as you know, sponsored by Loot Crate. Loot Crate, if you aren't aware, is a monthly subscription box service for epic geek and gamer items and pop culture gear. For less than $20 a month, you get 6 to 8 items that include licensed gear, apparel, collectibles, unique one-of-a-kind items, and more. You have until the 19th at 9 p.m. Pacific to subscribe and receive that month's crate. And when the cutoff happens, that is it. It is over. Make sure to head over to lootcrate.com/giant size team up and enter the code giant size team up to save $3 on any new subscription. This month they are doing anti-heroes. So August is for anti-heroes, guys.
Who would have thought?
I know.
Guess what movie just came out?
So you can walk the hero-villain line with this 100% exclusive collection of items from DC Comics, Archer, Dark Horse, and Kill Bill that includes 2 great collectibles, a wearable, and, of course, the monthly tee. And don't forget the pin.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we're dealing with. Go check out lootcrate.com/giant size team up. All right, on to more news.
More news!
Suicide Squad, the topic that is on everyone's lips, or in their toilet from the vomit, because apparently a lot of people hated this thing. I don't know. That's what I'm told, anyway.
Yeah.
No one I know who's seen it has had a negative reaction to it.
Yeah, I mean, I really haven't run into anybody that didn't enjoy it.
Well, let me qualify that. No one I know who's seen it that has spoken to me about it.
I mean, yeah,
has had a negative reaction.
I haven't fully, investigated everyone in my life to make sure they've done this, but I just kind of, no one's told me anything bad about it. Maybe they were just trying to spare my feelings or something.
Yeah. So anyway, even though, just like with BVS, the reports are coming in that there's been huge drop-offs and this isn't going to last, Suicide Squad is number 1 in the world right now, domestically making $133 million. Almost under 34 million. So 133,682,248 and 133,300,000 in foreign markets, bringing it to 266,982,248. They are going to experience a huge drop. I don't know if they're going to make their I don't know if they're going to make their money back, because China has officially said they're not going to be playing Suicide Squad.
Why?
Suicide Squad, they don't like it. They don't want it in their theaters. They have some issues with the violence and whatnot. It's China, man. They just decide not to play things sometimes.
I don't know. I don't know why they would do that.
Yeah, China is a huge market, so that is a really big blow.
It's a lot of people. So yeah, that is really gonna hurt. And it seemed like they kind of went out of their way to PG-13 it so they could make sure it got everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, hell.
It's I would actually like to see. Hold on. Let's see. Okay, maybe it's not official yet. I thought it was official. Sorry.
Oh, there's still hope?
Yeah, there might be still hope.
Okay. All right, we'll amend that. It may not be appearing in China.
Yeah.
Which means a few $100 million out the door.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, all the reports are saying it likely won't get released in China. Sorry, I read that wrong earlier. But yeah, so that's rough anyway. And but David Ayer has responded to the negative criticism of Suicide Squad with a quote from Emiliano Zapata: "I'd rather die on my feet than live on my knees." He said the Zapata quote is my way of saying I love the movie and believe in it, made it for the fans. Best experience of my life. By the way, they are taking the BVS route. All the castmates are saying we made it for the fans. So, there's no real reaction to such negative reviews.
Yeah.
Other than that.
Yeah.
So, I'm not giving them shit for that.
Yeah. I mean, that's what you're supposed to say. It's pretty much in your contract, actually.
Yeah. So, John Ostrander said he liked Suicide Squad. He did admit that he was biased, and
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he created pretty much the modern iteration of the Suicide Squad in the 70s. He wrote a very long, very fun piece. He did address issues that he had with the film. Like many of the critics, he didn't quite get that Amanda Waller is the bad guy of the movie. But hey, But he did also talk about how his late wife, used to be a film critic, and how they would go to these movies and critics would actually just be show up chomping at the bit to destroy the movie. So he did talk about that, how there is a bias. People can go in actually hoping to see a bad movie and ready to destroy it.
Right.
But it's a very long piece he wrote. He did like the movie quite a bit, he says. Jared Leto is kicking up kind of a stink.
A little bit.
He's been on multiple platforms. He's been on BBC Radio. He's talked to IGN. He's not happy, it seems. He asked IGN, were there any scenes of mine that didn't get cut? I'm asking you, were there any that didn't get cut? There were so many scenes that got cut from the movie I couldn't even start. There was so much that we shot that's not in the film. We shot so much footage. There are so many scenes that are not in the film. I haven't seen the movie yet, so I don't know. I didn't know exactly what's been cut out, but I do understand it's an introduction to the Joker now. It's a bit more of a supporting part than maybe it could have been if they used everything.
Yeah.
He's kind of an egotistical jackass, I think, because in the BBC Radio 1 appearance with Edith Bowman, he's talking about how it could have made an entire Joker movie. He says, I think that I brought so much to the table in every scene that it was probably more about filtering all of the insanity, because I wanted to give a lot of options, and I think there's probably enough footage in this film for a Joker movie. If I were to die tomorrow, maybe the studio would roll something out.
That's actually probably true, though.
Yes, but, in
all fairness.
Dude, it's not really tactful to sit there and talk about how much you brought to the table.
I couldn't tell how he meant it, though. I couldn't tell if he meant, dude, I brought my A game, or if he literally meant I brought, 15 different options for each scene.
Right.
If he meant, if that's meant to be technical information, no, seriously, I had, a dozen different ways to do each take, and we shot all of them. We spent all day, I spent weeks of my life coming up with ways to do this, Then it sounds a lot less egotistical, if it's... I couldn't tell what he meant, though.
He also said, yeah, in the interviews, he seems really pissed, very quiet, very annoyed. He says that he wished that the movie had been PG-13. He said he felt like it was held back. Sorry, yeah, he wished it had been R-rated. He felt like it was being held back by being PG-13.
Yeah. He
says, I always wish this film was R-rated, and I had actually said that when we were starting. I felt like if this was a film... felt like if a film was ever going to be rated R, it should be the one about the villains. So, I don't know, maybe not the best foot forward while the movie's out in theaters, man. That's all I'm saying. Rob Rivera on Facebook says, I think his part was pretty substantial, and I could see how they would have filmed more. I also see how his part in the movie was limited. Nathaniel Muzzy, sorry buddy, also on our Facebook page said, are you guys worried at all that Leto might go off on the reservation for DC? He seems unhappy about how the movie turned out, and I'm sure the ripples he's making aren't sitting well with the studio. He definitely doesn't depend on this alone for his livelihood. It reminds me a little of Joss Whedon after Age of Ultron came out. I don't love this Joker's look, but his acting was fine. We didn't get enough for me to say he felt great or bad, and I'd hate to see infighting, recasting, etc. Me personally, I'm okay with recasting, and here's why. Jeff Johns says there's 3 Jokers.
Until I know more about that, though. No. I'm always against recasting if it can possibly be avoided, and this is no exception. But in answer to his question, yes, of course I'm worried. The thing I'd like to know more about is his contract. Like, was he signed up for the Joker when it needs to appear, up to X number of appearances, which is kind of the way I normally hear about that going down. I don't know.
Well, if Jared Leto's right and they have enough to make an entire Joker movie, they don't really need him, do they?
Yeah. And for God's sake, give me that B-side, man. Give me that film.
Right. I mean, I'd love to see all of that footage. I would.
I liked his Joker. I wanted to see more. And that was the first thing, literally the first comment when the film ended was I said I wanted more Joker. First thing I said. And the reason I thought that was, I remember like from trailers, things that didn't show up in the movie.
Absolutely. And there were set pictures like the Harley, like Margot Robbie did her own motorcycle stunts. There's that whole scene where he slaps Harley. She's in like plain clothes and whatnot. Like all of that got cut. Like so much got cut.
Oh yeah, it keeps seeming like the more and more I hear as things are unraveling, it seems like they had the idea to make it a movie that was largely based around Harley and use the Joker as the side story for her, the thing that pushes her along as far as her character or how much you care about her. And I don't know at what point they decided to not do that anymore. But it feels like they decided, you know what, we've got enough Deadshot story here that we can centralize this around Deadshot. Like, we can make this a Will Smith movie instead and chuck the Joker stuff, like most of the Joker Harley stuff. And maybe it was, I'm not saying there's anything dubious there. Maybe they sat down and watched all the footage and went, crap, this is called Suicide Squad and we just made it a Harley Quinn movie. I think we got to pull back.
There might be that, and there are some reports, and I don't know what the truth is. These are rumors. No one official has confirmed this, but there are reports that David Ayer only had 6 weeks to write the damn thing.
That would explain my main grievance with the movie. Because again, and I'll preface again, liked the movie, but
me too.
It fell flat of a couple of things because those trailers were amazing, and then I got it and I was like, oh, it's a movie. It's like meeting your favorite athlete or something, and then going, oh, I mean, he's big, but he's a dude.
Yeah.
It was cookie cutter, It was. I've told a couple of people this. It's the Dirty Dozen set in the DC universe, which sounds like I'm ragging on it. Like, it is cookie cutter, but it's also just a perfectly serviceable film that I enjoyed the hell out of.
But when you have so much for one character or two characters, Joker and Harley, and then you're kind of like, what is the actual point of the story? Who are we following here? Yeah, kinda. Will Smith is the only one really redeemable one.
Yeah. I mean, and think about a lot of the scenes that we've heard about that weren't in there, and the stuff that we know is rumored. When you're talking about redeemability, like Harley and Joker's relationship is. Let me put it this way: I've rarely seen codependence so well portrayed in a film. And the most exaggerated form of it too. It was really that part. It was almost shocking to me that they went so far with it. But it's true. It's true for the characters. Like even Mad Love, which is just a cute little happy story for the most part. In the Bruce Timm style and everything. It's a really sick story when it comes down to like relationship abuse, like so many other things with Joker and Harley. So yeah, like I was surprised they went down that road. But like if you go too far down it, there are people that will stop sympathizing with Harley because after a minute it's like, dude, get out of there. Like then they,
yeah,
you get that backlash effect for it. So maybe it did just get down to that point where we're like, look, we can't show all of this and still keep everyone like rooting for Harley. We have to keep. Let's go with the I want to see my kid. I want to see my kid storyline. No one can deny that. I'm in the theater watching this thing, thinking he just wants to see his kid. I mean, it works.
Yeah.
It works every time, especially when Will Smith does it.
Yeah, and you know, even with all the backstory on Harley, one of the things I really liked in the movie, and I've heard some people, bemoan it, but they did the bit where Enchantress says, "What do you want?" And she kind of like throws like these like fantasies into these people, into their heads, like whatever they really want deep down. And Harley's is to be in like a domestic suburban relationship with the Joker, with a couple of kids. And they're like, "Oh, it takes away her empowered." No, bullshit. What I love about it is spoilers for Batman Beyond: Return of the Joker. Shut up, Nana Harley. At some point she does break free, however, she does. Maybe it's with the death of Joker at some point or whatever, but she does eventually get that. She does find what she wants, and that's what it is.
Yeah. Now think of it like this. It's not so much like... it's not so much that it takes away from her character. A lot of why her character is fun is because she's just absolutely batshit crazy. And she says it in the film, own that shit. But and she does, and this is how we get the character that you're looking at here. Like, she knows how crazy she is. I mean, granted, she I think she came with a little bit of that in the box, and it looks like the Joker pretty much helped finish that process, I guess. But either way, she is crazy. And when you go back to that other piece of footage, like, think about it as it's not so much that she wants a domestic relationship with him. It's not like she wants to settle the Joker down and change him and all this. And maybe she just doesn't want to be crazy. When it really comes down to it, like, she's gonna own this Harley thing, but maybe she'd really like not to have voices in her head. Yeah. And in this case, she still has feelings for the Joker, so she'd like him not to be crazy too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. The love of, I don't know. In terms of mental illness, the scene makes more sense.
Yeah. So if you didn't get enough of the Joker, Skrillex and Rick Ross did put out their video, Purple Lamborghini. It does feature Jared Leto as the Joker.
I do have a complaint about Purple Lamborghini.
Okay.
Not enough Joker.
Not enough Joker.
It's not enough Joker. Also, it did the same thing the movie did. The Joker's kind of front heavy in the music video, and then he shows up for like 2 seconds at the end. And there's like a glimpse of him somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
And it teased me too. Like, at the end, it looks like it's about to do something. Like, maybe even have like a tiny bit of a story to it, and then there's nothing. There's just nothing. Nothing happened.
No. He's just kind of grandstanding, being there. He's just there's not really much of anything there.
And the whole time I'm just watching, thinking, when's he gonna kill Rick Ross? When's he gonna kill Skrillex? You know he's gonna kill Skrillex, right?
I knew he wasn't, but I kept hoping.
Yeah.
I did not care for the music. It was not my deal.
Yeah,
it wasn't really my deal. Anyway, not that I really want the Joker to kill Skrillex or Rick Ross. Anyway, so on our Suicide Squad review, we talked about how we were pretty certain there probably would be an ultimate cut. David Ayer says, "This cut of the movie is my cut. There is no sort of parallel universe version of the movie. The released movie is my cut." And that's one of the toughest things about writing, shooting, and directing a film. You end up with these orphans, and you love them, and you think they'd be amazing scenes and do these amazing things, but the film is a dictatorship.
Yeah.
Not a democracy. And just because something's cool and charismatic doesn't mean it gets to survive the final cut. The flow of the movie is the highest master.
I like his philosophy there. And if you're not going to do the Ultimate Edition, that's fine. But 2 things stand out. 1, I damn well better get those as deleted scenes. 2, is that not just like, did he not just pretty much agree with us that Zack Snyder's film got like completely taken out of his hands at the last stages and cut beyond recognition? Because he seems like he's juxtaposing himself to like, no, this one is my film. There's not going to be an ultimate. Like, no one unultimated my film. And you can almost hear in parentheses, like they did Zack.
Right. I mean, there are reports that there were multiple cuts of Suicide Squad and a lot of different test audience screenings, et cetera, et cetera.
I don't even consider those like reports or rumors. That's always the case.
Well, sure.
Especially with one of these big budget films. Don't get me wrong. When somebody tosses $20 million at an upcoming director and hopes for the best, who cares? You don't get a focus group for that. But when you toss this much money, you better be able to show them some focus group data.
Yeah. So I'm assuming you heard about the premiere in New York.
No.
Someone in the audience yelled out F Marvel.
Classy.
And
stay classy, New York.
And David Ayer went, yeah, F Marvel.
Because why not?
So then he tweeted a couple hours later, sorry about getting caught up in the moment and saying F Marvel. Someone said it, I echoed. Not cool. Respect for my brother filmmakers. Right. That's nice. Everyone get off his dick. He said he was sorry. Same time, brother filmmakers. What about your sister filmmakers?
Yeah. Actually, have there been any girls direct the Marvel movies?
I don't know. I
don't recall it such.
There was for a minute. Actually, I think Patty Jenkins was about to, and then she left Thor. I think there was. I think someone did. Maybe Thor: The Dark World. Okay. I'm not sure. I don't really remember. Right. But
we'll look it up. Maybe it just wasn't applicable.
Right. Speaking of Patty Jenkins, though, she wrote, guys, super confused. Just went to the premiere of Suicide Squad. Had not seen it. It's great. Not sort of great. Great. I mean... She also reiterated that she's not just saying that because she's part of the DC family. She actually did really like it. Mm-hmm. In Suicide Squad, were you aware that Zack Snyder directed the Flash scene?
I was not.
Well, that happened.
That sounds right, though.
And David Ayer did say that Flash scene was always in the movie, by the way.
Mm-hmm. I love that.
They just lucked out with the fact that they already had the suit and everything, and Justice League was filming.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, man, can you do this? Oh, cool, yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. And I do have to admit, though, I wish it hadn't been leaked. I would love to have been sitting in that theater and went,
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So.
Me too.
Yeah.
So, moving on to television.
Mm-hmm.
Gotham, they've officially released a synopsis for season 3. The origin story continues on Season 3 of Gotham, and the stakes are higher than ever as supervillains more ambitious and depraved are introduced, and a realignment of alliances shakes up the fight for power in Gotham City. Season 3 will peel back the curtain on the infamous criminal organization known as the Court of Owls. With the Indian Hill escapees on the loose, Jim Gordon must take matters into his own hands as a bounty hunter in Gotham. He makes it his mission to find Hugo Strange, the mastermind behind the horrifying Indian Hill experiments, and Fish Mooney, one of Strange's subjects. Meanwhile, GCPD Detective Harvey Bullock and Captain Nathaniel Barnes remain at the forefront of the fight against crime in this monster-ridden city. Also, Bruce Wayne, with the help of his trusted butler and mentor, Alfred Pennyworth, and former Wayne Enterprises employee Lucius Fox, discovers there are still more secrets to uncover regarding his parents' murders. As the city sinks deeper into chaos, Gotham will continue to follow the evolving stories of the city's most malevolent villains, the Penguin, Edward Nygma, the future Riddler, Selena Kyle, the future Catwoman, Barbara Keene, Tabitha Gallivan, Tigress, and Butch Gilzine. The series will also catch up with the future Poison Ivy, who, after an encounter with a monster from Indian Hill, finds herself reborn as a young woman who's harnessed the full power of her charms. And that's a nice way of putting it. And we'll dive into the origin stories of Jervis Tetch, Mad Hatter, a talented hypnotist teetering on the edge of madness, and the Tweed Brothers.
That all sounds good until the Tweed Brothers.
Mm-hmm. That's what I was thinking.
Look at all this fun stuff we're going to do. Hey, also, look at this shitty thing we're going to tack on.
So, John Stevens, an EP on Gotham, is talking about here how Gotham Season 3 will be split up. He says, we extend the longer story arcs in Season 3. We've made the story even more serialized in Season 3. Everybody goes through a major character metamorphosis throughout the course of the year. We're doing 11 episodes in the fall, then there's 3 episodes in January, then the final run of 7 or 8 episodes in the spring. The 3 is not a self-contained series of episodes because it extends what we're doing in the fall, but it is an ended story, so we'll arc it out.
Okay.
So so far the subtitle for the season is Heroes Will Fall, and they haven't said if there's a different subtitle for the rest of the season yet.
Okay. All right, so they say they're going to serialize it more. Like, are we gonna go back to season 1 then with the style, or?
Season 1 wasn't too serialized. I think they've been getting more serialized as they've been going. Honestly, Because there were large swaths of season 1 that just had nothing to do with anything. Like, it was just standalone episode, standalone episode, standalone episode.
Yeah,
like, that was one of our big complaints. Is it was very Lucifer. It was, well, we didn't say that. I think we said very Bones or something. But
yeah, well,
even though I've been told that that's not true about Bones, so I'm sorry. Please forgive me.
I mean, it's very Monster of the Week in season 1. No, and I don't know. I kind of did like this year, like the Joker story or Jerome's story, whatever. It's over in like 4 episodes. Mm-hmm. And God, I hated them leading out with that because it was like the best part of the season. Mm-hmm. I can deal with that. It's like tiny miniseries. That the format I think is cool. If you do the little tiny miniseries all grouped together, here's a couple of overarching plots. Here's some guys in some terrible masks.
That was something they did in Enterprise Season 4, and I haven't seen it done a whole lot of other places where they do like 2 or 3 little arcs, or they do like 2 or 3 episode arcs that were just really strong. Anyway, I'm hoping that's what they're doing here. Well, they're not going to do that. It's going to be more serialized. It's going to be 3, looks like 3 big stories, or 2 big stories and 1 small story in the middle.
Okay.
There was an interview with Gotham executive producer Danny Cannon with Buddy TV. Meredith J. Jacobs put up these highlights of the interview, and I'll be kind of using that to go off of. Apparently there's going to be a lot of new characters coming in. They're going to be creating 2 new original characters and 2 well-established characters, and they're going to dig deep into their origins, Hatter and the continued growth and origins of Poison Ivy. He says, we discover and find out about and understand and see the origins of the Court of Owls and their grip on Gotham and their power. Alice is going to be Mad Hatter's sister in this version.
Okay. That's fine.
Gordon is going to be refusing to see himself as a police officer. He's kind of damaged physically and mentally.
Yeah.
Which is why he becomes a bounty hunter.
Yeah, I do love the idea of bounty hunter Jim.
Yeah, and Barnes is going to be like holding down the fort at the GCPD with Bullock, who is, quote, very instrumental in helping him do that. And that sounds really cool.
Oh, yeah.
Interesting quote here. Something will happen where Gordon can't deny his DNA anymore. Is that like metaphor? Like he's a cop and he's always been a cop? Or
is
he a monster?
Yeah, it could go either way.
Is he a Wayne? Is he a Wayne?
That'd be great.
Are we going to start doing the Wayne thing as Petrellis from Heroes?
Uncle Wayne.
Everybody's a damn Wayne.
I forgot about Uncle Wayne in all the pictures.
Uncle Gord Wayne.
At some point you have Alfred going, I thought I recognized you. Damn.
I'm a little worried they might actually do, like, with Gordon, what they did with Dick in the Court of Owls storyline, the Grey Sun thing. Uh-huh. I don't know. Maybe. Probably not. Hopefully not.
I mean, the Grey Sun thing is cool.
This is really cool. Bruce is going to have to take on another identity to survive. Spoiled rich kid brat. That way people don't take him seriously while his agenda is very serious, and that's just another step toward being Batman. That's awesome.
He's figuring out how to do the Playboy.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Selina's gonna get more backstory. Her parents aren't dead, but she's gonna wind up meeting one of them, and it's not gonna be good. Meredith writes, the reality of the situation doesn't live up to the fantasy. It will propel her into her next identity. Propel her into her next identity is a quote from Danny Cannon. Apparently, and this is something that's happened in Batman Returns. It happened in the Batman 66 series. Penguin is going to be getting into politics.
Sure, because that no better advertising for your political career than having a citywide manhunt televised the year before.
Well,
but he does have that bill, quote, that certificate saying that he's sane. So
yeah, Cannon has said sometimes it takes a criminal to run a crime-driven city.
That actually would be the best thing he could do as far as marketing himself.
Right.
I've always wanted to do that. Like, just go run for mayor under the pretext of, I have no idea how to steal from you. I don't even know how white-collar crime works. Not one I understand the definition of embezzlement, but I literally don't know how to do it. I promise you I will accomplish nothing in my term. I will be the lamest duck you have ever voted for. You will have 4 years of peace.
I know what you're thinking. As soon as he gets into office, he'll learn how. Well,
nah.
Ask my wife. I still don't know how to do laundry.
You underestimate my laziness, good constituents.
Honey, how do I do clothes? You just throw them all in there. Doesn't matter what color they are.
No, that'd be fun too.
Yep.
Just
That's right.
Have a little curtain right next to me, and during my speech, and at some point during the speech, when someone says like, "Oh yeah, what if you just get in there and figure it all out?" Like they're gonna get in there and show you. I'm like, nah, you don't understand. And pull it out, like pull the curtain away, and it's like 5 giant 8-foot piles of comic books. And I just line them up and go,
I don't have time to learn.
I have some catching up reading to do. So I will be locking myself in a room with these books while I'm there. If you notice any policy changes, let me know, because someone has forged something somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm going to forget how a pen works for the next 2 or 3 years.
Before I make any decision, I'm going to say, what would Batman do?
Right.
Those are Lucifer comics. Forget you saw those. Speaking of Lucifer, they have released cast photos. By the way, they released cast photos for Gotham as well, and they're very similar to the Lucifer photos. But yeah, they're just very dark backgrounds.
Mm-hmm.
They've released cast photos for Lucifer Season 2. They've also released an official synopsis for Lucifer Season 2. In Season 2, Lucifer Morningstar and his brother Amenadiel, who have been sparring over Lucifer's resistance to returning to the underworld, will now be brought back together for one common goal: to find their mother, Charlotte, who escaped hell. After all, Lucifer doesn't take after his dad, so the parent he does resemble is sure to be quite terrifying. Lucifer's work with the LAPD also is upended when the police force hires Ella Lopez, a smart, tough forensic scientist whose mutual belief in both faith and science proves a point of interest to Lucifer. With Mom on the loose, Dr. Linda Martin, who has become not only a therapist but also a confidant to Lucifer, will surely have a lot of advice to dole out. And, by the time she's done with them, she may need a therapist of her own.
Wow. You know, a lot of that could be seen as like, this would be cool. I mean, I do like The Therapist.
Yeah.
I mean, even with you reading it like a 70s sitcom narration, it's still, I like The Therapist.
Oh, I didn't think there was another way to read it.
Just did what's in your heart. I understand. But I like her. I've never really minded any of her scenes. She's actually been in a couple of the great ones. I like Lucifer and Amenadiel coming back together. That'll be, they actually had pretty great chemistry on screen.
Mm-hmm. People of our ilk seem to like Trisha Helfer. She's that character on that show that I didn't watch.
Right. Yeah. And
Battlestar Galactica. 6. Was that her name?
I don't know.
6?
I didn't watch it either.
She was a Cylon of some sort.
It's far exceeds my knowledge of Battlestar Galactica.
What did you call it? Battlestar Galactica.
BSG. I'll stick to what I know.
And I'll never watch it because I know Caprica, the prequel, was canceled, so I can't do it.
Aww.
I just can't do it. I'm sorry, Ronald D. Moore. I love you. I still love your Star Trek episodes. We'll forget about Generations.
No, the part that's going to bore the crap out of me, I feel like, is he's going to be interested in this forensic scientist who's religious and like science, and it just sounds a whole lot like they're going to do that whole like, but if you believe in science, you can't believe in God thing, and I just get so bored when I hear that.
Yeah.
Is that going to be like our new Philosophy 101 course that we're going to be taking in this for Season 2?
Yes, I believe so, probably.
Oh. I mean...
sounds bad. I'm so sorry. Lucifer has a ton of fans.
It does.
And none of them listen to this show.
we had, as the episodes bore on, we had people actively writing and going like, guys, I was trying. I'm sorry. I'm out.
Yeah, we had...
Peace.
And anyone who loves Lucifer and tunes into our show is just going to be like, these guys are a couple of dicks.
Yeah. Sorry in advance.
So, yeah. So, moving on to Supergirl. Callista Flockhart is coming back to Season 2. Mm-hmm. She's going to be in a limited role, though. She's going to only be recurring now, obviously, because, she doesn't want to move to Vancouver for full time. So
yeah. Can't be away from Harrison that long.
Yeah, Kreisberg said, Andrew Kreisberg, EP, said, Supergirl would not be Supergirl without the amazing Callista Flockhart as Cat Grant. We are so excited Callista has agreed to continue on the show when she can. We and the audience love to see her on screen. Well, that's true enough.
I mean, all of that. And it makes you wonder, should we have predicted that like in the last episode when she moves her away from her office? Because that would have been hard. That would have been a hard thing to explain coming back for Season 2. Like, what happened? She gave me an encouraging speech in a blank white office and told me to start a new life. It was great.
But apparently Snapper Carr is going to be, and I'm fine with that because I love that dude. As stated, dude from Felicity. I don't remember his name is Ian Gomez. Is that right? I don't know. That's what I remember. But yeah, I love that dude. And so apparently he's going to be taking over some of the screen time Cat Grant normally would have been taking. So there are set pics. I don't want you guys to think that we're just ignoring the stuff.
Set pics?
But these aren't official.
Yeah.
There are set pictures that show Superman fighting somebody. Very spoilerific. I'm not going to say who it is.
But it looks a
they're
lot
out
like
there
a
if you wanna go
person
check
who
them
has
out.
been mentioned previously in this podcast.
And I'm pretty excited about it because Tyler Hoechlin looks pretty damn good as Superman in the set pictures. But yeah, they're out there if you want to go check them out. I'm not going to tell you about it though. Just that they exist. So there's an ad, a Supergirl ad, and it's been going around the internet, and people thought it was real, and it's not. It was real. There's a Supergirl advertisement that came out that said Superman is coming to Supergirl, and someone took it and photoshopped it to say Superman is coming in Supergirl.
Of course.
And
because 13-year-olds know how to work Photoshop these days.
Right. So yeah,
the digital world getting younger.
Yeah, and the designer took it really personally. Like, the designer was on Twitter, "I'm sorry, I can't stay here. Big F you to the person who edited the poster and those spreading it. I'm close to tears at work."
Oh, come on, dude.
Etc., etc.
That was inevitable.
I know. Yeah.
I mean,
So,
yeah, of course no one likes their work getting sullied, really, we'll call it, but...
I don't have the stomach for this. It's too much. Sorry to Hoechlin, Melissa, and CW. I never wanted this to happen, etc., etc. I don't know. It's funny. I'm sorry. It's dumb. It's very juvenile. But when I saw it, I laughed. I'm so sorry.
Like somewhere Seth Rogen saw that and went, too easy.
Yeah, he said, too easy. Hey, James Franco, pass me another blunt.
Right.
So, yeah, that happened. Just, if you saw that, it's not real. There's another one that says to instead of in.
There's a real one.
Yeah. So they took it down, as I understand, but there was a Supergirl blooper reel for season 1. I'm assuming it's going to be on the DVD and Blu-ray sets. But that exists. Hope you got to see it. They've cast Katie McGrath as Lena Luthor. She was on Merlin and Dracula. She's going to have a recurring role. There might not be a Maxwell Lord, I'm hearing.
Oh, he might not make it back?
He might not make it back, is what I'm hearing. I don't know. I haven't seen anything concrete about it, but yeah, they're describing her as beautiful, powerful, and enigmatic. Lena arrives in National City on the heels of her brother Lex's incarceration, hoping for a fresh start. Lena has taken over as CEO of her family's billion-dollar tech company, Luthor Corp, which has been tarnished by Lex's evil infamy. Her goal, to rebrand the Empire as a force for good. Lena wants to be seen as her own person, separate from her brother. Kara is drawn into Lena's sphere and must determine if she is friend or foe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So,
okay.
There's that. Once again, jumping over to something that Meredith Jacobs on Buddy TV did. She gave us some highlights for a David Ramsey interview, and I'll be going by those notes and providing a link to her on Twitter. So, shout out to her. Anyway, apparently at the beginning of the season, Diggle's going to be in Chechnya.
Okay.
And he's apparently going to absolutely have an opinion on the new team. Still a man of two minds when the new season begins. He misses his family and the team and is trying to figure out why he pulled the trigger on Andy and feels guilty for Laurel's death. That just sounds exhausting.
Yeah, a little bit.
Because I absolutely, why are you trying to figure out why you pulled the trigger on Andy? Andy was a bag of dicks. Andy needed to go. He threatened your wife and child.
I mean, it seems pretty straightforward, doesn't it? Threaten wife and child. Usually doesn't get, that doesn't end with a hug, man. Doesn't end with a hug.
Yeah, yeah. They say that, blood is thicker than water, but you know what's thicker than blood? A bag of dicks.
Right.
And that's what Andy was.
Right.
Killed him. Anyway, Ramsey believes that there's going to be more Diggle flashbacks. He hasn't filmed any yet. He says there is something coming up with regards to characters in his life in the past, and you'll see how he's dealing with things in a very visceral, visual way. Flashpoint is going to affect a lot of things. We've said that before here on this show.
Yeah.
He's looking forward to the 4-show crossover and Diggle's reaction to Supergirl. He's even pitched his reaction to the writers. Diggle has a new helmet, finally. It's awesome, he says. We'll get a glimpse of some of the extraordinary things that the helmet can do. Is for more than just concealment.
Yeah, I'd heard more than just concealment. Was pretty excited about that.
Mm-hmm. I hope he can put beer cans in the sides.
Something like that.
And it has little straws.
Yeah.
Coming down on this.
It'll be his superpower.
Diggle has opinions on Lila's position in Argus, since the organization walks the line in terms of how they administer justice. There's some things that Diggle's going to find overseas that he's going to need the team, including... And he thinks the show is strongest as a, quote, street-level crime-fighting phenomenon.
Yeah, he may end up being right about that, because, let's face it, last season didn't go over well.
Well, I think that's a cop-out answer, though. Like, it's better as a street level. Okay, I understand you think it's better as street-level crime-fighting thing, but, I think I was completely on board with the usage of superpowers and magic and all that, and still am. It's just the execution of those things, and I'm not talking about special effects. I'm talking about the writing. Mm-hmm. The writing is what the problem is.
No, special effects didn't look bad at all. They pulled that off well. And we talked about it before, though. Like at the beginning of the season, it looked like it was really going well, and then something just kind of went off the rails.
Mm-hmm. And I was bored with it well before they got into superheroes and magic. So yeah, and it was because of the writing. So. Overall, I want the show to do well. I want to like it, but I think everyone's kind of like moving in the wrong direction. Well, we think it's this. No, it's not. You're bad writers. Like
they're not bad. They're just like
they're
relying too much on a couple of tricks that.
No, what they're doing is every time they get a good writer, they send the bastard to the Flash.
Yeah.
Or some other show.
He escapes into the Flash.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they're just out of ideas. Maybe they're burnt out on Arrow. I don't know, but
I've actually been worried about that. I started to worry that was a thing maybe somewhere in the middle of last season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I truly don't believe they're bad writers, honestly. But God, something's got to change on Arrow.
Yeah. No, and I do specifically agree with Diggle about Diggle. When it's street level, he gets to fight more, and for some reason, his fights look better than everybody else's fights. I don't know what it is. They give him more upper body stuff, and he does it really well. It's fun to watch him punch people.
Yeah. I just want the show to be so good.
I don't know.
So Stephen Amell posted a picture of superhero feet on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
It was the feet of the Flash, White Canary, Arrow, and Supergirl, and Atom. So that happened.
Yeah.
And everyone flipped their shit on Twitter.
Yeah.
Which we know. We knew this was coming. We knew this crossover was coming. Come on, guys. Cool it on down, babies. It'd be all right. Let's just hope that Silver Banshee and Livewire aren't coming back.
That's the only hope I've really got.
Right. Colton Haynes has been seen on the set of Arrow. Echo Kellum's Snapchat and Instagram have shown that Colton is back.
Cool.
Looks like we're going to get a little Roy.
Cool.
Over on The Flash, Susan Walters is cast as Caitlin Snow's mother. Everyone's kind of flipping out saying that's perfect casting. I will say, from the nose up, she looks exactly like Caitlin to me.
That's halfway there. It's all it takes.
Yeah. She is on the CW a fair amount already. She was apparently in the first 4 seasons of The Vampire Diaries as Mayor Carol Lockwood. Sorry, I just saw this. It says, who came to an untimely end courtesy of a vengeful claws. I'm like, oh, okay. Klaus, maybe? I don't watch The Vampire Diaries. I don't know. But it made me just think of like Santa Claus attacking her, and it made me laugh. I don't know. She also had a recurring role on Star-Crossed. She was on MTV's Teen Wolf as Natalie Martin. She was in the CBS legal drama Reckless. So everyone seems to think this is a good casting choice. I'm down with it. I
couldn't tell you from anything that she's been in because, dear God, you just listed every show I've never watched.
Everyone.
There's plenty more, mind you, but 100% effort there. I've never seen any of those.
Yeah. Sorry. I don't know. I've never seen any of those either. But, based on how Killer Frost and Caitlin have described the character, You know, well, I'm hoping she's pretty cold.
Mm-hmm.
So, that wasn't supposed to be a pun, but
Oh, they did it. You can too.
Legends of Tomorrow, they have released a Justice Society of America logo. It looks badass. It looks like old school too. They've even put Mark Guggenheim put up a picture of this thing on the set, on the Justice Society meeting table, with the caption, "This has me giddy." You know what? We give Googs a hard time on this show, but, you know, I kind of want to hug him when he says shit like, "This has me giddy." Of course it does, buddy. That shit looks like the old 70s logo from the Justice Society of America. He's also talking about Vixen and how she'll be an interesting counterpoint. He says, you've got Captain Cold, who was a criminal and out for himself. He's replaced by Vixen, who is the definition of a superhero. She's a member of the Justice Society of America. She's from the 1940s. Everything is prim and proper, not stuck up, but she does things right. You have this team that doesn't do things right. They're just a bunch of fuck-ups.
All right.
So she's an interesting counterpoint. By the way, Mark, maybe they shouldn't be that anymore. Like, every episode they learn not to do that. And
Yeah.
So, don't. Maybe they learned something this time? Commander Steel has been cast. We've already gotten a Citizen Steel, but Matthew McCall from iZombie and Star Trek Beyond, I don't know who he was in Star Trek Beyond, is going to be playing Henry Haywood, aka Commander Steel.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we're gonna have Commander Steel and Citizen Steel, his grandson. That's kind of awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Stargirl has been cast as well. Courtney Whitmore is Stargirl, and Sarah Gray is playing her. Sorry, if I didn't mean to lead you to believe an actress named Courtney Whitmore was playing her. No, that's Stargirl's real name in the comic. But Sarah Gray is going to be playing her. She's going to be in the upcoming Power Rangers film too. She was also on Almost Human, Bates Motel, and iZombie. So you've seen her before.
Oh yeah, I've seen her around.
So yeah. You know, I kind of wish we could see Starman in live action. Like, I'm fine with Stargirl. Like, Stargirl's awesome. But I kind of want to see Starman, too. Like, can we... Because we've seen Stargirl before. We've seen her on Justice League Unlimited. We've seen her on Smallville. She was awesome on Smallville. Never have gotten to see Starman, really.
Give it time. Give it time.
Sort of like how I'm like always like, where's the love for Alan Scott? Where's the love?
I don't know. His son showing up in something.
All right. By the way, yeah, did I talk about that at the beginning of the show?
No.
Okay. Last week, we reported some Legends of Tomorrow news, and the news that we reported was that Obsidian was going to be a member of the JSA. I absent-mindedly thought of his suit, which has always reminded me of Mr. Miracle, and said, that's some New God shit, and got all wrapped up in that idea. And then I forgot all about it. Scott on the Suicide Squad cast called me out on Twitter for it. Obsidian is not New God shit. He is the son of Alan Scott and Rose Canton, the Golden Age Green Lantern, and villain Thorn. So that's not even a New Gods thing. Sorry.
Not even.
I'm a dumbass.
Sorry.
There's a lot of characters.
Excited.
I got excited. He does, though. He does look like... And I think that's another thing that made me think of that is I'm pretty sure, and I might be screwing up again, I'm pretty sure, though, that the DC Universe Classics line of action figures by Mattel, they offered Obsidian as a variant to Mr. Miracle. Like, they just did kind of a repaint on his build and made Obsidian. I think that's why I always associate it. So I apologize. I am a piece of shit. And
well, you know,
don't deserve love.
That's fine. Get in your box.
Yes, sir.
Well, after we're
one
done
more piece of news.
After we're done recording.
Yeah. Ray Palmer put out... Brandon Routh put out...
He's Ray Palmer now,
picture. Yep. Brandon Routh, Superman, put out a picture of
Brandon
his
Routh,
character, Ray
many
Palmer.
Characters.
Right. He put out a picture of his character, Ray Palmer, the Atom, from Legends of Tomorrow on, I think it was Instagram. He's got a big bushy beard and long hair, and he says, Ray Palmer isn't stranded on Leon U, but I think this wig/beard rivals Oliver Queen's Lost at Sea look. The stick was an impromptu addition to the scene. Find out where Ray is in the second season of Legends of Tomorrow, October 13th. It's a fun picture. If you're not following these guys on Twitter and Instagram and whatnot, you're missing out. They do put some funny shit on their Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and all that stuff. So, and inadvertent spoilers pop up at times. So, or maybe not. Who knows?
Yeah, sure.
That's all the news I have. It's always an awkward time in the show when all the news is gone.
I mean, it felt like a solid amount.
It's solid.
Yeah, it's these were marathon shows the last couple of weeks with San Diego hitting us, and Suicide Squad dropping. Just we couldn't believe there was more news.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot, but I mean there was.
This is a normal amount of news to me.
Yeah, it's pretty normal. I'd say 7 to 9 pages is pretty normal, and we've got 9, almost exactly, completely 9.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you've been following along in the conversation, but our buddy Eli Oppelders is apparently going to start a podcast.
Oh, I didn't catch that part. I've followed along where I could, but and I've been meaning to get back to him, and will, but I've barely been by my computer here recently.
Yeah, well, he and I have been talking, and I don't know what the show's going to be called, but he's a good friend of ours. He's a good friend of the show. He's a listener, and he's a good guy. So I look forward to. He sent me a link to his YouTube videos, and he's a pretty funny guy. I'm looking forward to the show. I don't know what it's going to be about, but I'm going to pimp it out on the show.
We've already started,
because that's what we do here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh gosh. So I don't know. I got nothing else really.
Nah. I'm pretty wrapped up.
Yeah. Thank you for listening to DC On Screen. You can find every episode at dconscreen.com. Remember to go and give us those 5-star reviews on iTunes, and I don't know, let us know about it, because you're going to be entered into this contest to get your trade paperback or DVD/Blu-ray. So that is happening. We are a proud member of the Giant Size Team Up Network, giantsizeteamup.com. I believe we're both going to try to make it onto Breaking the Panel on Wednesday for a Suicide Squad roundtable event. We're going to try to. I believe I'm in, whether Jason does or not.
I've had a couple late nights here.
So, see, anything else? That'll be good for now.
Yeah, call it.
Until next time, guys, keep some DC on your screen.
Selling your car to Carvana is as easy as...
As easy as pie?
Sure. All you have to do is enter your license plate or VIN.
As easy as a stroll in the park.
Okay, then just answer a few questions and you'll get a real offer in seconds.
As easy as singing.
Why not? Schedule a pickup or drop off and Carvana will pay you that amount right on the spot.
As easy as playing guitar.
Actually, I find that kind of difficult. But selling your car to Carvana is as easy as...
Can be.
Visit Carvana.com or download the app to get an instant offer today.
Okay, round 2. Name something that's not boring.
A laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Ah, sorry, we were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right, ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.